Ready for!
Ja Rule, hip-hop artist of Murder Inc., known for rap songs such as Live It Up, The Rain, and Put It On Me. Ja Rule is headed for an historic meeting that will hopefully end the beef with him and Interscope hip-hop artist 50 Cent, a beef between the two that's been brewing for over a year. This first meeting of Ja Rule will take place at the home of Minister Louis Farrakhan, leader of the Nation of Islam. Minister Farrakhan, best known as the author of the Million Man March. Will this meeting of a 27-year-old rapper and a 70-year-old charismatic religious leader end this beef? Let's witness this historic meeting as Ja Rule seeks out the counsel of a man he believes to be the peacemaker.
We live in the most dangerous time since there's been a time and a people on our planet. We need right guidance to get us through these times. We need to know the truth. And Final Call Incorporated is the storehouse of truth. From lectures by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to books by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Final Call Incorporated provides you with guidance and insight into these troubled times. Look in the Final Call newspaper or visit us at store.finalcall.com to see our complete selection of tapes, CDs, DVDs, and books by a wide array of authors. Final Call Incorporated, the storehouse of truth.
This is indeed a great hour. So now we have to study the hadith of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because he said certain things. He laid them out very clear, and all we have to do is listen to his voice. So brothers and sisters, with that, our minister's here. We're happy to have him on this Wednesday night, and I hope your cup is wide open, okay? Because he's going to fill it until it overflows. Let's bring on Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the one God, to whom all praise is due, the Lord of the worlds, and in the name of his true servant and last messenger, our beloved leader, teacher, and guide, the messenger of Allah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Our brothers and sisters, once again, it is our privilege to be able to share with you some of that which we have learned from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. On this coming Friday, be it the will of Allah, scholars will be coming in from around the country to help us to expose more of the teachings and understanding of the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. If we were to have lectures Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, or if we were to be on television, there are many things that we would like to say that we probably would not be able to say in the course of a lecture. However, when you have scholars of religion, scholars of philosophy, scholars of economics and political science, scholars who have devoted their life to the study of the family, and we allow these scholars and news people to question us on the teachings and program of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it will help us to expose more of his message. It will be videotaped, and we will use it by the grace of Allah as resource material for the students of Islam under the guidance of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad here and throughout the world. There will be eminent scholars coming who have made it their business to study the life of Malcolm X and to question us concerning Malcolm X and his relationship to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There's much that we want to say about the lives of these two men and how their lives impact on our lives. The scholars of Islam and religion may want to question us on the Imam, Warith Deen Muhammad, and his profound effect on the nation of Islam. We will be more than happy to answer the scholars' questions. This will not be for the newspapers or necessarily for the press, but it will be for the edification of us and scholars who may desire at some point to study what we have to say. Of course, the world may be interested in those tapes, as they were in the case of the Nixon tapes or in the case of other men of consequence. They took their message and either turned it into a book or kept it for their memoirs. However, the object of all of this careful exposition of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is so that each of us may get out of Farrakhan what God has put in him at this time and try to get as much from the brother as we can as guidance to go through the next year or two, which will be difficult times for us as a people and for America as a nation and for the world. So we look forward to Friday. That will be, of course, in the afternoon. However, if it becomes so that we must go into the evening, then we may not have study on Friday, but we may just allow you to study from what we are saying and what the scholars are asking. Tonight, we want to talk on the family. In Islam, as in the teachings of Christ and in the teachings of Moses and all of the prophets, the family is a most important, or the most important unit of civilization. Unfortunately, most of us have grown up without family, without strong family units. As a result, we are not as psychologically, emotionally, or spiritually prepared for life as we should be. Proper family life prepares the children to go out and meet and overcome the obstacles that life presents. Proper family life fosters in the children those qualities of love and service that make us willing to step out from our families and use our gifts and talents for the betterment of community or for the betterment of a nation and a world. Therefore, family is given in the Bible and Quran a very high and sacred place. And this is why those things that interfere with family are punished with such severe punishment in the Holy Land or in the divine world. Family is sacred. That which breaks apart family is punished severely, because anything that destroys the family undermines the nation. So the strength of the family is really the strength of a nation. America is becoming ever weaker because there is a disease, social disease and spiritual disease, that is eroding and breaking up family life. The core of family is marriage, and the core of family is the relationship between a man and a woman. Now, the Holy Quran teaches us that Allah created us from a single essence. That tells us that male and female came from the same essence. That essence is the very nature of God Himself. Although male and female are different by nature, the essence of male and female is the same. But between these two, male and female, the Quran says that Allah put love and compassion. Now that's already there between male and female. It's already there. You don't have to create love. The love is already put there in the nature of us, but like all things, it must be nurtured. It must be developed. Okay? Now, when we say that love is put and compassion is put between the male and the female, does this mean that a man can take a woman that he does not love and grow in love with that woman? Yes. And vice versa, is that the same, that a woman can even say she wants to marry a man, but the love is not really powerful, it's just a strong feeling between the two? Can this flower and blossom into this great thing called love? Yes. Yes. Much of what we call love in the Western world is not love at all. But it is the basic attraction that there is between male and female because of our unalikeness, and that God intends for us to come together at some point in our development, and we usually find our way toward each other. But the circumstances under which we find our way toward each other, experimenting with ourselves and with each other, is oftentimes confused with love. We fall, quote unquote, in love with a person. We say, I love her, or I love him. But if there is true love present, there is a commitment to service. To service. A woman that loves a man serves a man. A man that loves a woman serves a woman. Not sexually serving and then the service is over, but a continual service or fulfilling of need. Are we clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, since man and woman are created in need, then each of us has a duty to the other to help fulfill need. It is the carrying out of a duty that fosters the love. Now, I know this romantic thing in the Western Hemisphere is quite a thing in our lives, and all of us look at television. We spend an awful lot of time watching these soap operas probably, and you see people fall in and out of love as often as they fall in and out of bed.
That's right. Go ahead.
And we say, oh, this is something here. Well, brother and sister, we are going to have to be much more careful about our use or misuse of language. We have to recognize that if you don't have an experience with a person, you have the potential for great love, but the love may not be there. It is only through the experience and the duty that we perform for each other that the love is strengthened. Now, love can never be taken for granted. It should never be taken for granted, any more than you can take your stomach for granted simply because you ate tonight. Tomorrow is another day entirely. And if you don't perform your duty by feeding your face so that your face will feed your stomach, then you will surely die. And you understand that. So you continue to take care of business. Some of you do it too well. And you overdo it and hurt yourself. But the point is that love, like the stomach, has to be fed. And the thing that feeds and nurtures love is duty. Not I love you, baby. Yeah, that sounds real nice. Darling, I love you. You know, that's real nice. But the need of each individual to be satisfied, to be fulfilled, becomes the duty of the husband to the wife and the wife to the husband. And when we take care of our duty, which is binding upon us in a marriage. I mean, when you give your covenant that I will look after this woman, I will do thus and so and thus and so. And they say, do you so-and-so say you're going to do this? And you quickly say, yeah, man, get it over with. You want to hurry on to the honeymoon. Yeah. But the honeymoon is over so quick. Because the duty fails. Because oftentimes you really are getting acquainted with each other. And it is only through living together that you get to know one another. But I'm not suggesting that we just say, hey, let's live together so we can get to know one another. You can live with any woman or any man and get to know them, but the Quran and the Bible want us, when we live together, to live together in a bond of matrimony where we have pledged ourselves to each other to perform a certain duty. No woman should give herself to a man without the pledge of that man to perform a certain duty by you. And that duty must be the maintaining of the female. And maintaining doesn't necessarily mean in the narrow sense going out getting a job. It means that too. But maintaining means that man is responsible for the general upkeep of the woman. I'm not talking just about giving her $1 here and there. And baby, get yourself a pair of shoes at the Salvation Army. While you run down to Flag Brothers or Florsheim and buy you a brand new pair, you send her to get a pair for 15 cents or 25 cents and tell her how good she looks in them because you spending your money on the girlfriend. Sure will break up the family. Now, brothers and sisters, in truth, you know, the upkeep of a woman is a very serious job. The upkeep of a woman is like the upkeep of a building. I don't care how nice a shape the building is in, you must continue to look after it, lest it will deteriorate. That's the way it is with love and marriage. Unless you continue to look after the woman, it will deteriorate. The love will deteriorate. The bond will deteriorate. There must be the constant looking after need. Now, this has a corresponding effort on the part of a woman. Men have needs. And those needs, though in this world they appear to be sexual, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. We both have needs that are very deep and significant. The Quran says of a woman that she is created by the God that we may find quiet of mind in her. That's very heavy. And in this world, brother, a man needs quiet of mind. Everything that would give a man quiet of mind, God put it in the woman. We go to the television, we go to the movies, we go to an entertainment center, and they call our television our console. You understand? This is she right here. This is the creature that Allah made for consolation of a man. I mean, that's heavy, heavy, heavy. We don't have time to plumb its depth tonight, but just think of the word console. You know, whenever somebody is grieved, you try to console them. Is that right? You try to say the right word, the right touch. You do the right thing to console the person who is aggrieved at the loss of a loved one, etc. A woman has a very special gift of consolation for a man. You can see it oftentimes in the children, the girl children. Sometimes as adults, sisters, you know, we lost that altogether, and it takes an awful lot to get it back. But in the little children, if you watch your little girls, they have a special way that they handle their fathers. You ought to check it out sometime, and They didn't learn this. Mama didn't teach it because she's not doing it herself half the time. But the babies, I'm not putting anybody down, sisters. But the babies, they have it naturally. Their husband will be laying there. You see him, you know, with his hand in his chin, and he's worried about something on the job or something is disturbing him. And that little girl, she can sense that there's something wrong with daddy. And she'll go to her father. And if he's laying down, she'll put her little head on his chest and just pet him light. Just pat him. That's consolation. She'll even rub his head. I'm telling you now, these little children are something. The little girls, they will want to do little things for the father to make him comfortable. They'll run, get his slippers for him. They'll do little things, knock over something while they're doing it, mess up something, but their intention is so good till the fathers, if you watch them, they get so close to their little girls. And therein is a great danger. We'll talk about that in another subject. But sisters, you have it in you by nature, but somewhere along the line, as you grow, you have bad experiences that kill your desire as a consoler for a man. And it's a fact, brothers, when our girls fall in love the first time, that's their spirit to give, to console, to be whatever he wants her to be for that which will console his mind. But then when he does not know how to handle that genuine feeling, he destroys it by mistreating her. And then the next person that comes along, he got it hard, brother. And sometimes she will never go back to that original beauty of her true nature. This is what makes Islam so marvelous, and the teachings of Christianity in the New Testament, if understood, wherein it says you must be born again. And the only way that things can go back the way God wants them to be is if after you've lived such a crazy life that you decide, hey, I'm destroying myself, my family. I'm really not the man that I want to be. I'm really not the woman that I want to be. And no college can give you this. You just have to recognize that it is God who gave you these natures from the beginning, and it is only a return to God in an intelligent manner. I'm not arguing that we shouldn't return to God, but we should return to God in an intelligent manner. I don't think a return to God in an emotionalism that causes us to run up and down aisles and throw ourselves into walls and fall down in the, under the name of getting the Holy Ghost. I don't think that's an intelligent return to God. It is an expression of your anguish, it is true. But the most intelligent expression or way of return to God is your obedience to God's will. That is the highest intelligent way of return. Some people go through this emotional thing, and it may be all right, but it never will make you happy. It must be that you bow your will to the will of God and then display his intelligence, reasoning with one another. Then the family can pull tighter and tighter together, particularly the husband and the wife. Now, some of you have gotten married, and your marriage is just a few days old, and it is already being torn asunder. What's the problem? Well, I didn't expect what I'm getting. I mean, the man don't want to work, he don't have no money. But didn't you know that? What's the matter? Well, he takes his clothes off, he leaves them all around the place, and I gotta pick up after him. He don't brush his teeth. I had a brother even complain that his wife wouldn't take a bath, you know. I mean, I felt terrible just hearing such a complaint.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
But I heard it, not through the grapevine. I heard it from his mouth in her presence. Now, after I heard it, I knew what I was listening to. And he was bitterly complaining. I said, brother, how you treating me? And there it was. Man got so busy in his work, he didn't have time for her. And that's the way your marriage dies. I know, brother, my wife is just one unusual woman. So many sisters, you know, they see a man standing up behind a rostrum and they see people hooraying and hoorahing and they say, oh, he must be wonderful. And he is. But he may not be so wonderful for you. You know, when men have a dedication to a mission, that mission is foremost in their lives. No woman can compete with a man and his mission. To even attempt to do that is to break up the marriage. Because the mission of a man is what gives the man his sense of purpose and value. That does not come from a woman. It comes from God to the man and to the woman. We all have some reason why we're here. And once a man discovers his purpose for existence, then the woman must